Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Networking Thursday. We're glad you're with us today. It's October 27th, 2022. For those people on Zoom, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just open up the chat box. And for those watching on Facebook, please just enter your questions in the comment field. We'll be sure to we're monitoring both feeds. We'll be sure to get those questions answered for you. Before we get started, we'd like to know where you're watching from. So if you would, open up the chat window or the comment field and tell us where you're located at, just so we have an idea. I'm just taking a survey this week to see where people are watching from. Open up the chat window, let us know. Garland, Texas, Austin, Texas, I guess, Austin, Texas, the colony. Marietta, outside of Atlanta, Fort Worth, Mesquite, Texas. All right, well, thank you for everybody for joining us. Like I said, the other thing you can do too in the chat window, if you'd like to network with everybody else who's on the call, put your contact information in there so you can go and you can connect with everybody else who's on the call today via LinkedIn. That would be a great way to do that. All right, please note this event is being recorded. It's currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a website to help those who are unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I started a second website, careerusa.org, to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon, or if you see me in person, I usually have copies with me. And since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. And I'll tell you about our upcoming program. We have tomorrow a really good program coming up tomorrow morning at the end of this session. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. You got to remember that your interview, that your resume and your LinkedIn profile isn't going to get you a job, but it does get you a phone call. How well you practice your interviewing skills will benefit you while networking, and that's what will get you your next job. So if you'd like to get more information, please just go to dallaspitcrew.com. All right, well, every session over the last couple of years, we've had a different speaker. Here's, I think, 21, 22 different speakers we've had talking about networking. Networking is primarily the same thing. It's getting out and talking to people, but everybody has a little bit different point of view on how to do it and how they need to reach out and what to do. So today, our speaker is Sonia Lowery. She's a former vice president at Lehigh Harrison. She's been helping people in career transition for 20, 30 years. Now she's just chasing her grandkids around the soccer field and every other place that the kids ask her to go to. So Sonia, thank you very much for being with us, and I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Welcome, everyone on the call today. Again, my name's Sonia, and I've done this presentation many times. So let's get started. If you have any questions during the session, please feel free to, oh gosh, here we go again.
You can do it.
Can I do that right?
We did it before. You're not sharing yet.
Sorry, everyone. I'm a little bit, what am I doing?
Click on share screen and then pick your PowerPoint.
Okay, here we go.
There we go, I think.
Sorry, everyone.
There we go.
It's a great challenge sometimes, and Jeff is always a big help to me. But anyway, this is going to be the secret weapon to simplify your networking efforts. I know that most of us do not like to network. So I hear it every day. People are introverts. Well, you know what? If you're not networking, you're not going to be successful in your job search. And I found a secret weapon years ago to help it make it a little bit easier for you to get out there and start talking to people. What I've discovered throughout my career is that over 90% of people who land jobs land through networking. So think about, how did you land your positions up to this point? I've looked back in my career and I've landed every job that I've ever had through networking. And it's going to be that way moving forward. So let's get started. Okay. How do I go to the next screen, Jeff? You're on mute. There we go. All right. All right. So the agenda is, we're going to understand the importance of the marketing plan. Several years ago, I discovered that the marketing plan is going to be so instrumental in your success in networking. We're going to review the components of the marketing plan, and we're going to discover how to use the marketing plan to create focus and to drive your networking conversations and to make it easier for you to have a conversation with your network. You know, the marketing plan also leverages your productivity. It makes it so you know exactly what you're going to say and exactly how you're going to present yourself to your network. It's going to provide you with a strategic plan, and you're not going to go in and haphazardly start talking to people and they don't know exactly what you want, where do you want to go, what target companies are you looking at the moment, and that's going to change as probably daily as you navigate this job search. The most important thing is going to create focus. It's going to create focus for you, and it's going to make it easier for you to have conversations with others. All right. The marketing plan components, the first one is, what is your branding statement? What makes you unique? How are you branding yourself out there in the job market? What are your ideal roles? Have you thought about what it is that you're looking for? Most of the time, the recruiters and the hiring community, they're looking for generic roles. What is it that you want to do? What are you good at? What differentiates you from others? And think about, as you're looking at job opportunities on all these websites, what roles are you seeking at the moment? Strengths and achievements. Hopefully your resume lists some of your achievements or your accomplishments under each one of your positions that you've held. Then think about, what are your strengths? What do you bring to the table? What value are you going to add to that next employer? And if you haven't had the opportunity to take the Strength Finders assessment, there's a book called Strength Finders. I highly recommend it. I took it, and from what I see is you can put that in your about section on your LinkedIn profile, or you can add those strengths to your resume. And another thing too, companies are looking for those strengths, and it's going to help you market yourself if you know what those strengths are. Another way you can find that out too, look at job descriptions that are of interest to you and see what they're looking for. What strengths are they looking for? And again, your target list of companies. You know, what I've heard in the past is, I don't care about what company I go to work for. I'm going to find this particular job. And there's a lot of small to medium-sized companies that we don't even know about yet. And just think about get 5 or 10 target companies. You could also target your industries as well. You don't have a list of target companies, but I highly recommend that you target a list and really hone in on those companies that are searching for your talent. Okay. Several years ago, I met this gentleman, Eric, and he came to me and he said, I really don't like the format of the marketing plan that we're using at the moment. I want to create my own. So he created this document. And when he handed it to me, I was like, wow, it just made me think about, oh my gosh, this is such a great way to market yourself. And it's different, it's unique, it just creates interest. A resume does not really. This gives the hiring authorities a brief synopsis about you, your ideal roles, your biography, your education, and some of your personal achievements, your successes, and also target industries or companies. So that's what you use for networking. Now, he came back to me and he said, I want to use this as a bio. Great. The only thing about the bio, you need to take the target companies or the target industries. You want to delete that from the bio. I'm going to give you an example of how we used this bio. He was interested in a company called Topgolf. At the time, this has been several years ago, I knew the name of the CEO. So I told him, I said, go, let's take this document, the one on the right, or the one without the target companies. Let's write a short cover letter, short and sweet. People don't read paragraphs anymore. They skim things. Let's go to the post office, get an express envelope, the 2-day envelope. I think they used to be $4, the red, white, and blue. Handwrite the address on there and stick it in the mail. And he did that. And he did get response. The CEO, of course, didn't respond, but he sent his information down to the HR department. And he did get an interview. The reason I'm telling you this is everybody needs to do something different. And I loved this. It just works beautifully. If you can't get into a company and it's your target company, try this. See if it works. You know, nobody uses snail mail anymore, right? So let's try that. Let's use snail mail. And when people see something that's addressed to them, which is unusual now, they're going to open it. So that's just another way to think outside the box that everybody else is in. So try it, but be sure that if you use it as a bio, take the target companies off. And there's a list of his target companies right there and the industries. And I'm just going to give you a couple of examples. I shared all this information with Jeff, and he has that information. And at the end of the presentation, he's going to email that out to everyone. And this is just some of the other marketing plans that I've seen. These are similar to what Eric did. Just be sure that, you know, everything is lined up. Your picture is clear. I would use the same picture that you use on all of your marketing, all of your marketing documents. This is another format. This is horizontal. This was the first one that I ever saw. And it's plain, it's simple. And a lot of my clients like this. Very plain and simple. Of course, he didn't put I took the photo off. I think Jeff took the photo off and put somebody else's picture there. But just take a look at that. If you like that format, use it. I'll show you a couple more that I really like. Jill, oh my gosh, she did such a great job. She's so creative. She did a great job with putting her marketing plan together. She didn't have a list of companies, but she did have a target industries. So, you know, it's your document. Make it the way you want it, with your background, your professional strengths, your successes. And it just gives everybody a brief synopsis of who you are and where you want to go. And you know what it does for people? If I were in your network and you handed me this, I would be so impressed with your focus and knowing exactly what you want to do. You may not, they don't know that. But this makes you appear to be professional, polished, focused, and ready to go and ready to land that next opportunity. You want a branding statement. You want to convert conversational positioning statement into a written document or into a written sentence or paragraph. Take a look at your summary statement on your resume. It's similar to that, but you want it to be conversational. Competencies are a cluster of skills and personal characteristics. If these companies are looking for personal characteristics and specific skills, you want to make sure you incorporate those into your marketing plan somewhere. That's how they're going to find you. And again, they're going to skim this document, and it's going to make them simple to pick out things that are important to them and what they're looking for. Here's a couple of examples of the branding statement. I'm not going to read these. It's going to be in the presentation that Jeff's going to send to you. So it doesn't need to be long. It needs to be short and sweet. It needs to state your skills, your core competencies, anything that they are looking for that's going to help them say, you know what, I want to talk to this person about the position that we have. Another forward-thinking senior leader with a track record of providing successful, strategic, and tactful marketing leadership to improve organizational effectiveness and drive. Try to make your branding statements interesting, short and sweet, and something that they can skim easily. You know, I look at this one and it says accomplished marketing and technology leader. What I've seen in the past, a lot of people put seasoned. Let's don't use that word. That's just one of my pet peeves. Let's use accomplished and replace seasoned with the word accomplished or another verb that is similar to accomplished. But seasoned, are you salt? Are you pepper? What are you? I never did like that word. Proven leader with extensive experience. Like I said, I'm not going to read all of these. You can read these as when you get your email from Jeff. It's all in there. List the type of organizations you plan to pursue and research. I always suggest that you start with maybe 20. And you know what? That list is going to change on an ongoing basis. You're going to find positions that that you haven't seen before, or companies that you haven't ever heard of. The small to medium-sized market is where to go. These large companies, this is again my opinion, they're all downsizing or they're all not hiring at the moment. So look at the small to medium-sized companies. I subscribe to the Dallas Business Journal. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but they just put out I think it was last Friday, the top 50 middle market companies. So if you don't know what the Dallas Business Journal is, go to the library and take a look at that. You want to include the 4 key elements: geography, industry type, size, and culture. Sit down and just think about, where do I want to stay in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? Am I willing to relocate? What industry type are you looking at? CPG, finance, manufacturing, transportation, what industry? Then the size of the company. What size makes you comfortable? Is it small to medium? Is it large? Or do you even care, as long as they have the right opportunity? I know one of the most important things as you navigate this job search is culture, the fit. If you don't know what the culture is within the company, that's where networking comes in. You know, find someone that has worked there or who works at that company, find out what the culture is. Or if you get an on-site interview, scope it out. I mean, fit is so important. Most hiring authorities are going to hire you because you're a good fit. But is that company a good fit for you? You need to go through this job search thinking about what's good for me. and where am I going to thrive and be happy? Target market and target companies, again, geographic area, types of industries. I'll give you an example, size of organizations, the culture, which is the most important piece, as we just stated. I can't tell you how important it is on both sides, cultural fit. Again, you want to start with your target list of companies, start with 20 to 30. That's a lot. I know when I was working with Eric, he had a whole list. He had 50 to 100. But I tell you what, he was a great networker and he knew exactly what he wanted and where he wanted to go. After he come through all of those companies, he was very happy where he is now. Research companies on LinkedIn and reference solutions. Reference solutions is through your library. I know Jeff has a speaker that talks about how do you use reference solutions, but it is in your public libraries as long as you have a library card. LinkedIn. I tell you another real good source to use is the Dallas Business Journal and the Chambers of Commerce, Economic Development Councils. Oh my gosh, they have a wealth of information for the community. So take advantage of every avenue that you can. Again, the Dallas Business Journal, but the book of lists. When you subscribe to the Dallas Business Journal, you'll get a book of lists that gives the top companies, industries. It gives you tons of information about the companies that are in the top echelon of companies to work for. Again, the Chambers of Commerce. If you live in, I know I live in Frisco. Frisco has a great chamber. Dallas, Fort Worth, all of them. Just take a look at their website, find out what small, if you're looking at small and medium-sized companies, that's a great place to go. Using your marketing plan, again, it increases your productivity. When you sit down for 15 or 20 minutes and you have this document to share, it's very awkward to present your resume, but it's more, it's better if you have something to share, and this marketing plan is a great tool to use for that. It will help the network, the person that you're speaking with, know more about you. It creates conversation around what are you really looking for. Okay. It represents the M in smart networking, and we'll look at that in a minute. It shows the network contacts that you're focused, polished, know what you want, where you want to go, what positions you're looking for. And you know, when you first start your job search, you're not really sure of all that. And don't worry if you're just beginning, but as you move forward, you'll know where you want to go and what you want to do. And then all of a sudden it's going to appear to you, the company, the position, and things just seem to work out when they're supposed to. Smart versus sale meeting agendas. So, you know, when the smart is when you're networking with your personal network, you're going to summarize your image. You're going to share your marketing plan. You're going to ask questions. They're going to ask questions. You're going to ask for referrals. Who else could I be speaking with about the positions that I'm looking for? And then you might talk about what are trade information. Like you want to trade information, or you want to help that person. How can I help you? Let me share some information with you. It's a give and take as you network. It's not all, it is about you, but it's not really. You want to make sure that you're helping the person who's helping you. And then the sale, again, you're going to summarize your message. You're going to explore the company's needs. You're going to list your benefits as to their needs. And then you're going to leverage your next contact. So you want to sell to the key decision makers. That's where you need to be. And during all this process of networking, the end result is that you're going to be in front of the decision makers and be able to sell your value to that next company. So the next steps for you, create a marketing plan using the 4 components: branding statement, ideal roles, strengths and achievements, and your target list of companies or your industries. It's a lot of work. And, you know, people that put it off for a while, when they finally get to this document after their resume is done, after their LinkedIn is complete, the marketing plan, they put it off for a while. But once they get it finalized, they always say, I'm so glad I did this. I wish I would have done it sooner. This has really helped me focus and know exactly where I want to go and what I want. Define the size and the scope of your target organization. You may not know that now, but you will. I promise you will. It will come to you. It's like a light bulb goes off and it goes, oh, okay. This is the size I want. This is the scope I want. This is the industry I want. I want to go to work for this company. And incorporate your marketing plan into your networking strategy. You know, when you're setting up these meetings for networking, you could either email your marketing plan to them before your meeting, or it's probably better to take it with you and present it at that time and kind of go over everything. It'll give you something to talk about. It'll have them ask questions, things like that. So it's totally up to you. There is a sample email that I sent to Jeff, and he'll send that to you, that makes it a little bit easier. Just remember, be short and sweet. All right. Questions?
So if you can, what's the difference between, I mean, I know the difference between a marketing plan and your bio is that you include target companies or not. When do you want to include target companies, and when would you not want to include target companies as you're sending this out networking? Okay.
So the target companies are used for networking only. The bio that I showed you is something that you would use if you're trying to get into a company and you don't have a contact, or you don't have a way to get in. Mail it or email it if you have an email address, but you probably won't. But don't ever present, like, I would also use the bio as if you had an interview with ABC company and you left and you were going to send a thank you note, I might include that bio when you send them the thank you. But the marketing plan with the target companies is used for networking.
Okay.
And you know, if you're networking with somebody at Toyota, you might want to put Toyota on.
Yeah, I think Jay Fusero, remember, he's done a presentation for us, and he talks about that he once used a marketing plan that had target companies on there, and he sent it to somebody, and we had a conversation with him, and the guy said, well, I'm not really sure why we're talking, because you don't even have my company listed on your target companies.
Yes.
So you've got to be very, very careful when you do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
All right, if anybody has any questions, please unmute your mic or turn on your camera, let us see you, and we'll let you ask questions away. Questions.
How many of you, let me ask you this, how many of you have a marketing plan? Raise your hand. You know, gosh, several years ago, when I was coaching my clients, I shouldn't say this, but we had documents on the marketing plan. I never put a lot of emphasis on that. I was interested in the resume and their LinkedIn. And then when I met Eric, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Let's use it this way. There's so many ways you can use it in your job search. Please, please, please use it to your advantage. Think of different ways you can use it. Nobody wants these hiring authorities. I'm sure most of you have been in that situation where you're hiring people and all these resumes. I mean, people still fax them. They still send them. I mean, nobody's going to look at that. But if you send something different in a different envelope, or it's just different. Don't be like everybody else out there. I'm always about thinking outside the box, and it works.
I think, when you send that resume, it screams, help me, I'm looking for a job. When you send the bio or a networking document, it says, I'm looking for advice and opinions and references, and let's just
Mhm.
talk. Here's who I am. Here's what I can maybe do for you, but let's just talk about what we're doing.
Yes.
David, I see you've got a question.
Yes, thank you for the presentation today.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I have a question about using a marketing plan when I'm getting ready to pivot not only careers, but pivot cities. The city I'm moving from Atlanta, going to Greenville, South Carolina. I've been told by a number of people, not only on my LinkedIn profile have I already moved digitally, but it might not be a bad idea when I'm doing my marketing plan to go ahead and do that. What is your recommendation? Even if I'm meeting with somebody local in Atlanta, but we know we're going to Greenville, what would you recommend?
Why do you have to put city or state on the marketing plan? You really don't have to.
That's a great concept. Yes, I can just get away from that completely. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, because it just says, hey, I'm open, even though you're not, but they don't,
Right.
they won't know. I mean, I just would leave it off. I would just eliminate it.
Perfect.
You
Thank
know
you.
what? And that's another thing. That's a great conversation to have when you're networking. I'm in Atlanta, but I really want to go here. So yeah, don't limit yourself with putting that on there.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, anybody else have a question?
How about the use of video?
For the marketing plan,
Well, marketing yourself and doing your bio on a video, doing your thank you note on a video and sending it. That's a little that's not common these days. It's usually done by email or handwritten note or things like that.
you know what? This is my feeling. I don't think that these hiring authorities are going to click on something that's going to take that long.
Well, it should be short, yeah, one or 2 minutes at the most.
Right.
But yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I must be old school, but I know BombBomb and some of the other video platforms. I mean, maybe a short thank you, but
Yeah.
as far as your marketing plan, I'm not sure about that, how that would work. What's your opinion, Jeff?
Well, I think you've got to be careful with some companies' computer systems are not going to allow videos to come in anyway. So it won't go through. Personally, I don't open up video links from anybody. I'm just protective. My computers have never been hacked. I shouldn't say that in all these years. Someday it'll probably happen. I guess I've gotten lucky. I mean, and I'm very cautious. I don't click on links without being able to see, I never click a link on my cell phone. I only click a link on my PC, but only so that I can hover over it and look at the very bottom and see exactly where it's taking me. So I'm just a very cautious computer person that, I think the bio is a very effective tool, and I think that years ago, only executives had bios. I don't think that, us common folk had bios, but I think nowadays, I think everybody should have a bio because I think it's a really effective tool from a networking perspective. If you're filling out an application, you're going to send a resume in, but if you're filling out something on an ATS system, that's one thing. But if you're just sending something into somebody, don't send a resume in unless you know what they're really looking for. Where a bio is just sort of that high level document that, that could be the hook to get them to call you up, and then you can get more details.
And they're going to love it because it is different. I mean, I can't tell you how many clients I have told that and that it's worked for them.
Right.
It just
Yeah,
does.
the fact you say that 90% or 80 to 90% of people find their jobs through networking, that this is a tool to use instead of a resume. Until you have a job description, don't send somebody a resume, because you want to make sure you use the words that are important to them so they can see the connection.
Right. And even in your LinkedIn profile, I mean, you only have one. So make sure you have all that information in your LinkedIn.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Shouldn't your LinkedIn be your bio and point towards your resume, but not replicate your resume word for word, but just give that high level overview of all the great experiences you've had and your contributions and things like that.
Okay, I'll tell you what my opinion is. And I have a lot of those. So one of them is the resume is old school. And eventually, sometime soon, I hope,
Mhm.
because when we had to do resumes and LinkedIn, it takes more time.
Mhm.
Everybody should have a resume, but if 97% of these hiring authorities are looking at LinkedIn and you don't have all your information in there,
Mhm.
they're not going to contact you. They're not going to see your resume. If you keep posting your resume over and over again, nobody's going to see it. Less than 2% of the people see it. I just think resumes are a thing of the past, and LinkedIn is a platform where hiring authorities go to find talent.
Mhm.
So you better have all the information. Everything that you want them to know about you needs to be in your LinkedIn profile.
Professionally, everything you want them to know
Professionally.
about you professionally.
Yes, exactly. Of course.
Because
Right.
I find people making posts on LinkedIn that are, getting political, and it just drives me crazy because that's not appropriate for LinkedIn. It shouldn't be.
Right. Keep LinkedIn as your professional avenue. If you
Resume.
want to go on TikTok or Instagram, whatever, you can go do those things. But remember, a hiring manager, if I'm going to hire you, I'm going to Google your name. I'm going to look you up on Facebook. I'm going to look you up wherever your name pops up. So just know that if you're posting those kinds of things, I will see it if I'm looking for you.
That's right.
Yeah. Be careful out there. Somebody's watching you all the time.
Right.
It's
Any
kinda
other
scary.
questions? Anybody else have a question before we wrap up about networking, about a marketing plan?
And Jeff is going to send you all that information. So there's a lot in there. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help. So, like I said, I'm opinionated about a lot of things, and I didn't like the marketing plan until Larry put that together, and I'm like, wow. And then when I share it with people, make it your own, create your own. Look what Jill did with hers, and several others that I have so many, but I couldn't share all of them. Yeah, it's your document.
Yeah. So if you want handouts from today's session, just send an email. I'm going to let you send me an email to networking@careerdfw.org, networking@careerdfw.org. If you send me an email, I will reply back with, I think it was like 10 or 12 different documents. I'll send them. They're already zipped in a file. So I'll send that zip file to you, and then you can extract them from the zip file. And if you can't handle the zip file, I can send you each of the documents individually. Well, I'll send it as one email, but with all the attachments separately. So just send me send me an email, networking@careerdfw.org, and I will get those to you today or tomorrow. Okay. All right. Well, Sonia, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate the information. I think a one-page bio is so effective. The marketing plan helps guide you what you're trying to do. The one-page bio, I think, for a networking tool is just extremely important. And like Sonia said, take your same picture it's on LinkedIn and put it on your bio. It should be the same. You want your same picture all the way through because you want a consistent marketing plan across
Right.
what you're trying to do.
Someone just asked me a question if I would link in with them. Absolutely. Feel free to link in with me. But like Jeff, please let me know where you met me.
Send that
That-
personal note.
I don't agree
You
to
agree?
connect with you unless I know you, or where did I meet you?
Right. So if you want to
Okay.
connect with Sonia, send that personal note. So you want to look for that blue connect button. If you see her as with a white connect button, click on her face, go to her profile, and then when you see a blue connect button, you can send her that note. So, all
Okay,
right.
I'll do that. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much.
There was another question for Sonia.
Oh,
Do you have any tips for a career changers? In other words, non-traditional job seekers?
As far as your marketing plan is concerned,
I don't know. Priya posted that. Priya, do you have, you want to expound on that?
Hi, Sonia. Yes, I think mine was more related to marketing plan and connecting with recruiters or people and company to show our interest and how to do that.
you know, one of the best ways is to do that on LinkedIn. Under your photo, put what you're looking for. It's not what you've done, it's what are you looking for, right? And make your marketing plan the same thing. What are you looking for? Looking for the future, not the past, right? So I would just create everything for future reference. I'm looking for this, and this is what I bring to the table. This is the value that I can add to your company. Does that help?
Right. Yes, it's helpful, and that's how I presented my LinkedIn profile. My question was with regards to when I connect with recruiters and I have to explain my non-traditional background, that I was working in related field and now I would like to join. Uh, so, for example, clinical research versus healthcare, and how to bridge that gap in their mind of, oh, you've not been doing this in the past 5 years or so.
My recommendation is that you have to find somebody that connects with you, that understands your background and understands what you're looking for. And you have to sell it. You're selling a product. You're selling something different that you want to do, but you have to be passionate about it. You have to sell it.
yeah, I think that you don't want to necessarily be reaching out to recruiters. I think you want to, I think it's really important that you reach out to other people in the field and you find out, find the role that you're looking for and find out from them what's the best way to get into it and how can they maybe help you, refer you to somebody, and they see that you've got the right kind of skills. Well, wait, we need somebody who's got your kind of skills. So, I would spend less time on recruiters and more time just networking in the companies that you're interested in or that field that you're interested in.
I
Thanks,
totally
Jeff.
agree.
And I have had that experience of actually I've had a positive experience when I connected with people at the target company, and they are like, I'm happy to serve as a referral, keep applying. The only tough barrier I had was when I was connecting with recruiters, because when I was approaching them for a role and saying, so for some reason that seems to be like a dead block for my end. But yeah,
It
thank you for
is.
your.
I totally agree with that. If they see you as a viable candidate, they will contact you. To me, I agree with Jeff. Do more networking. That's the way you're going to find your next opportunity, not through the recruiters.
Right. Gary, I see Gary, you got your hand up. You have a question?
No, not a question. With the extensive background in healthcare and she stating that she wanted to get into that, I might be able to help her. I did put my information in the chat if she wants to call me at a later time.
Okay.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
For you to reach out to Gary. All right. Networking. That's what this is all about.
See, it works. It works every time.
Anybody else? All right, well, let me go back. Sonia, thank you very much. Let me go back
Thank
to the
you.
slide here. So once again, if you want the slides, or not the slide, well, today's slides, in addition to all the extra handouts with other bio handouts, just send me an email to networking@careerdfw.org, and I will get those to you this afternoon and tomorrow. Let's see here. Career DFW and Career USA, we're putting on training 4 days a week. Please join us tomorrow morning. The North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group meeting. We're meeting in person, or you can continue to watch us on Zoom or Facebook. Accountability groups. It's real important that who's on your bus. We talked about, who's sort of controlling what you do. Who else is keeping your feet to the fire? So by having an accountability group, this is a great way of who should be on your group, who should not be on your group, just as important, what your group should talk about, how you set it up, what all the details should be on how to do that. So if you'd like to find out about accountability groups, and maybe you can start one with the people who are on the call tomorrow, you don't have to be in person, but it is a possibility to do that. You're welcome to reach out tomorrow morning, 9:30 Central Time, and we'll talk all about accountability groups. Next Tuesday for LinkedIn Tuesdays, Kurt Vondermatter will be with us. He's a retained search consultant. He pays LinkedIn big bucks to get the full-blown recruiting package. He's going to show us what it looks like from the back end, the area that we never get to see. So if you're interested in that, please join us next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Next Wednesday at 1 o'clock for Interviewing Wednesdays, we're going to talk about asking questions in the interview. You don't want your interview to be an inquisition. You want it to be a conversation. How do you do that? How do you break into that? And that's what we're going to talk about next Wednesday. And then next Thursday, being the first Thursday of the month, hard to believe it's November already. We're going to talk about effective resumes. So join us. We've got an expert who'll talk all about resumes, what should be on a resume. And we're primarily dealing with resumes for the ATS system, how you want to get your resume into the ATS system, and the difference between that and the resume that you're going to get to a hiring manager. So we'll talk all about that next Thursday. If you'd like to join the Career DFW and Career USA LinkedIn groups, a great way to expand your connections. You're welcome to join one or both. You do not need to live in the DFW area to join the DFW group. It's just I started each one when I started each one of the two websites. So you're welcome to join one or both. This session has been recorded. You will be able to go back and watch it on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel. On the Career USA YouTube channel, we've got over 400 videos. So the best thing to do is click on playlist, because there's only 7 playlists. I'll be uploading this video. It'll be up there in a couple hours, just depending on how fast YouTube is working. But where you see, select whichever topic you want, in this case, networking. And then you see that red arrow, view the full playlist. I always recommend you click there, because that way it'll take you to the date. The current date should be on top. Otherwise, hit the little sort button and the title and who the speaker was. And you can go back and find out and watch any of the presentations at your convenience. If you're not receiving emails about our workshops and you'd like to join the Career USA mailing list, please send an email to Career USA, the +subscribe@groups.io. You will never be spam, because I control it. Nobody else can post anything. But what you will get is the topic of the day, the title of the day, and most importantly, the Zoom link of the day. That way you can grab your lunch, grab your afternoon snack, grab your breakfast or coffee on Friday morning, and just click on the Zoom link and you can be right in on our calls. Please remember, Career DFW, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. All of our speakers are volunteers. I'm a volunteer. Everything I've done over the last 14 years has just been to help you land your next great opportunity. So thank you very much for joining us today. Sonia, thank you very much again. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow morning, if not one day next week.
Thank you, everyone. Good luck.